On Monday morning, Piers Morgan spoke on talkSPORT. Everybody knows now that this is over. Everybody now agrees with me. I don't take any pleasure in that. It's just one of those things I was asked by the Daily Mail to do. A quick 300-word reaction, and I remembered I'd written about Arsenal about losing 3-0 to Manchester City once before. I wrote about how we had no leaders since Patrick Vieira and Tony Adams, how the team had no heart, how they'd gone soft, how Wenger had lost it, how he looked like a man on death row. Only I didn't write that after the game last night, I wrote it 10 years ago. I wrote that column when we lost 3-0 away to Man City in November 2008, and I was vilified by Arsenal fans at the time for saying it. Since then, Arsenal have not come close to winning the league. We are now in our worst league position under Wenger since last year, which was his lowest ever position. So we are 6th in the league. We are 27 points off the top, 11 points behind Tottenham. For Christ's sake, that's how bad things are. We've been dumped out of League Cup final in humiliating fashion. We were knocked out of the FA Cup by Nottingham Forest. We are about to get hammered by AC Milan. I would imagine on current form, in the Europa League, which none of us want to be in anyway, so we won't qualify for the Champions League from the second year running. I'm not sure what more Wenger has to do before the normal yardstick for failure is applied to him and he is sacked. I am way beyond the stage of expecting Wenger to quit. He's not going to quit. He's earning £10 million a year to manage failure. We have an American billionaire owner who just spent $550 million on a ranch, and he doesn't give a stuff what's happening in this country to our club. Wenger can occasionally give him a trinket like an FA Cup. Well, it's not good enough. Everyone now agrees with me. Well, whoopee-doo. But nothing is changing. I don't see how it changes unless every Arsenal fan rises up now and says, enough. I think it's a bit of arrogance. But we need a reality check. Wenger's 68. He is not going to get another big job at another big club now, and I think he genuinely has no other life. For 21 years now, Arsenal has been an all-consuming passion for him. He's sacrificed a lot, both professionally and personally, and I totally accept that. I also want to say again, that no manager in Arsenal history has brought the club such glory that we got from Wenger in the first 8 years of his tenure, but it seems so far away. I had a conversation I had with one of my 3 sons. My youngest boy is 17, and he said a very sad thing yesterday. He said, the sad thing is, I'm too young to remember any glory days of Arsenal. I don't know this team that you're talking about, the Invincibles. Because he was only 4 at the time. He said, Dad, what was it like to be an Arsenal fan then? I said, son, here is what it was like. When we played the top dogs in world football, when we played the best teams in the Premier League like Manchester United, we went there expecting to win. We won the Premier League 3 times in 8 years under Wenger, beating some of the greatest Manchester United teams in history. Those were titanic battles, and we genuinely believed we could beat anybody on our day. We had 3 of the greatest teams, that 98 team, that 2002 team, and the Invincibles in 04. Any one of those teams were some of the greatest in history of British football. But here's the thing, how many of this current squad would get into any of Wenger's 3 teams that won the title? Because I don't think any of them would. When Ian Wright said there's no one to throw the towel in for him, I think a lot of Arsenal fans probably share my view. I have nothing against Wenger personally. I knew him very well in the early years. I liked him very much. He's a very smart guy. He speaks 5 languages. He loves his wine. He talks passionately about football. But you have to divorce the personal feeling towards the guy from his performance as manager. We have not won the league for 14 years, and we are further now than we've ever been under Wenger. We are 27 points off the top. For Christ's sake, we're not in the Champions League and are very unlikely to qualify for the second year running. He can't even hide behind his European record. By the way, he's never won the Champions League. He's reached 1 final in 21 years and 2 semi-finals. His European record is awful, and Wenger still claims to it as, hey, I got us into Europe all those years ago. Well, tough. The sad thing is that every day Wenger stays, he chips away at what should have been one of the greatest legacies in football history. Every day he stays, few Arsenal fans remain in love with Arsene Wenger. I don't think there are any Arsenal fans left now who doesn't think Arsene should leave. There are varying degrees of anger. I'm right at the top because I've been saying it for 10 years. I do think a lot of Arsenal fans have been very loyal to him and in my experience recently have now come round to thinking this must end. But how does it end? Is Stan Kroenke good to pull the trigger? Wenger says he's going to honor his contract. Does anyone want him to stay? Another year of failing to compete. You have to do something dramatic, boycott, because at the moment the board is able to hide behind whenever Arsenal fans do protest. It's never a big of a protest. The real issue for Wenger yesterday was the sheer volume of Arsenal fans who left before the end. I never leave the game before the end. I will stick it out even if we're getting hammered, if I believe the team is putting up even half an effort. Yesterday I left 15 minutes before the end. I predicted on Twitter to Gary Neville that we were going to lose by at least 2 goals. I always felt that. I felt this City team is playing on a different level to everybody else, and Pep Guardiola is what Wenger was 15 years ago. I take no pleasure in being proven right. I thought we were going to get hammered, and we did get hammered, but what I didn't expect is in a cup final at Wembley. Alright, the League Cup is not the biggest thing in the world, and I'll be the first to say that, but when you've got a massive packed Wembley stadium and you're playing in a final representing your club, the situation every player wants to be in, a big stage final, and you play with that utter lack of fight and passion. I mean, you take Jack Wilshere out of that team, who at least looked like he was trying. The rest of them, Jim, I love you, but I'd like to hear you announce the departure of at least 8 of those players on the next transfer day, purely on the evidence of yesterday. Granit Xhaka is £35 million. Shkodran Mustafi is £35 million, and he was shoved off the ball by Sergio Aguero, who is about 3 feet 2 inches and is moaning about it. We have players in the team like Alexandre Lacazette. Is Lacazette a £50 million football player? If he is, then so am I. He got rid of Olivier Giroud, Theo Walcott, who were good football players who never really entered the top drawer. But you look at that team yesterday, right? We have got Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang and Mesut Ozil, who most people might say are 2-class players. But they both went missing yesterday. The rest of the team went missing, but I would exonerate Wilshere. Aaron Ramsey thinks he's Lionel Messi. He is Messi with a Y. He's the guy that when we play these big games, he does not dare. I saw Hector Bellerin having a pop at Arsenal Fan TV saying they're not real fans because they celebrate failure. Let me tell you, Mr. Bellerin, Senor Bellerin, we would love to celebrate success. The fact that we pay the highest ticket prices in Europe, 2 of the highest paid managers in Europe, we expect more than we are getting. We expect players to play with a damn sight more heart and passion than that nonsense yesterday. Yes, we should start to boycott it. Because if it gets rid of Wenger and gets the board to wake up, then so be it. I'm supposed to be going on Thursday. Guess who we are playing? Manchester City at the Emirates. Does any Arsenal fan think we are not going to get thumped? Of course we are going to get thumped, and we are all going to stand there paying £2.5–3 grand for our season ticket to get humiliated by a team who we used to always compete with. I'm gonna go because essentially, in the end, I'm an Arsenal fan. I don't believe in blind allegiance to one player or one's manager. They come and go. I subscribe to the Chelsea owner Roman Abramovich view of modern managers, which is, if you win, you stay, if you don't, you move on. This idea that we have to put up with Wenger for the rest of our natural lives seems to me completely unique and utterly ridiculous. In the end, I loving Arsenal player and I'm willing us to play better. I will go on Thursday and I have a horrible feeling it's going to be the latest bonfire put on the funeral fire for Arsene Wenger. And that brings me no pleasure. I don't like to see Wenger humiliated like this. We lost 10–2 to Bayern Munich last season in the Champions League. We got knocked out by Nottingham Forest in the FA Cup. We've just got humiliated again. How many more times can one guy get humiliated before he walks the plank as somebody pushes him over?